Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a kitten. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. An easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's height, and then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then just connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. You don't have to draw a perfect circle, but if you're having trouble drawing one, just trace the outer edge of a cup, a lid, or anything else with a circular edge. Now draw a diagonal line across the circle for a construction guide. The tilt of this line will determine the tilt of the kitten's head. Now draw a curved sloping line for another construction guide. The guidelines should be similar to the letter X. On the bottom part of the head, draw a small circle as a guide for the muzzle. This circle should be small in relation to the head. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. Draw a couple of triangular shapes on top of the head as guides for the ears. Draw the ears on either side of the diagonal construction guide. Because the head is tilted, the ear on the right will be higher than the ear on the left. Below the head, draw another circle as a guide for the top part of the body. This circle should be slightly smaller than the head. Use the small marks method to draw this circle too. Don't overlap the head as you draw this circle. Split the body circle in half by drawing a vertical line. Below the body circle, draw two long vertical lines for the inner edges of the front legs. Pay attention to the lengths of the lines in relation to the body. Draw two more lines on the outsides for the outer edges of the legs. Tilt the line slightly inward. At the bottom, draw short horizontal lines for the bottoms of the feet. Add curved lines at the top for the top sections of the feet. The feet should be similar to half circles. Draw long curved lines on the sides as guides for the lower section of the body. Make the bottom of the body wider than the top. On the right side, draw a line that curves up as a guide for the tail. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch two small circles for the eyes. Place the eyes on top of the muzzle and on either side of the diagonal construction guide. The eyes should be big in relation to the head. When you get the sizes and positions of the eyes right, darken the shapes. Make the lines thick and dark. Draw a couple of short lines along the inner edges of the shapes for the corners of the eyes. The corners of the eyes should point down toward the muzzle. Inside the eyes, draw tiny circles for highlights. In the middle of each eye, draw a short thick line for the slit pupils. Inside the muzzle, lightly sketch a small triangle for the nose. The top of the nose should be parallel to the sloping construction guide. Make the nose small in relation to the muzzle. When you get the shape of the nose right, darken the lines. Use a wavy line to darken the top part of the nose. Add small curved lines on the sides of the nose for the nostrils. Make the bottom of the nose thin and pointy. Below the nose, draw a short line that's similar to an upside-down letter V for the mouth. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the mouth when you get the shape right. Draw a couple of short curved lines on the sides for the muzzle. Draw these lines using short strokes to create a furry texture. Below the mouth, draw another short curved line for the chin. Draw a couple of short lines at the top to complete the shape of the muzzle. Darken the triangular shape on top of the head to create the first ear. Draw a series of short strokes along the bottom for the furry base of the ear. Draw a couple of lines inside the shape for the ear's opening. Draw the ear on the left the same way. Darken the guide and add a series of short strokes along the bottom for the furry base. Add longer lines inside the shape for the ear's opening. Use the first circle as a guide to draw the rest of the head. Follow the basic path of the circle as you draw the shape of the head. Make the sides of the head wider than the initial circle. Sketch lightly at first and darken the sides of the head when you get the shape right. Use a series of short strokes and angled lines to create a furry texture on the head. Add a few small lines inside the head too. Darken the long shape on the bottom left side to create the first leg. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the guide to create a furry texture on the leg. Darken the shape at the bottom too for the foot. Add a few small lines inside the foot to separate the toes. Darken the guides on the right to create the other front leg the same way. Use short strokes and angled lines to create a furry texture. Add a few short lines inside the foot for the toes. Now darken the outer edges of the rest of the guides to create the shape of the body. Make the top of the body slightly wider than the guides. Use short strokes and angled lines to create a furry texture. At the bottom, draw a couple of short curved lines to create the visible sections of the hind feet. Add short lines inside the feet for the toes. Darken the guide on the right to create the tail. Make the tail thicker by drawing another curved line. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. You don't have to erase all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. You can stop here for a white kitten. Just add a few shadows to emphasize the shapes. For a kitten with a tabby pattern, use a dark valley to create stripes on the head and body. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. Leave the bottom half of the head blank for the white fur. Use a medium value for the rest of the head and body. As you shade, use strokes that go in the direction of the fur. Slowly and gradually add a darker value across the body. Use a medium value inside the eyes, but leave a few small circles blank for highlights. Shade the body using different values too. Use a medium value for the main part of the coat and a darker value for the stripes. Leave the main part of the chest blank for the white fur. Draw a series of short angled lines inside the chest for the shadows on the clumps of fur. Add a darker value across the body to create shadows. Shadows will give the figure more dimension and volume. Add a light value at the bottom for a cast shadow. Darken the final lines to emphasize the shapes. If you have a pet kitten or cat, try to duplicate its coat pattern on your drawing. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result, and that's it for the kitten. Remember to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com for more tutorials. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let me know in the comments if you have a pet cat or kitten and what their names are. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.